Hey folks, it's Jim. As you know, I have the bug out bike if you watch my channel. But that led to a problem in that I once I thought things through, excuse me, a little coffee, um, I was found out that I didn't have the right tool for the job. Here's the situation I was going to be in. If I'm on a bicycle out scavenging, which that's part of the reason why I got the e-bikes too, it wasn't just for exercise and training, but was for the fact that if we ever have a situation where the fuel stops running or I can't get fuel for some reason, I still have an alternative means of transportation and scavenging. But that left me with another dilemma. How do I protect myself on a bicycle? The idea of firing a handgun with my left hand on the move at 20 miles an hour on a bicycle and hitting anything is ridiculous. I may hit the ground or I may hit a building, but I'm probably not going to hit what I'm aiming at. So that was out. Couldn't use a handgun. I don't think there are many people on earth that are that good to be on a bicycle at 20 miles an hour and use a handgun with their offhand effectively. So I realized, okay. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll go with the shockwave. The idea of firing a 12 gauge shotgun with one hand on a bicycle is probably going to lead to an accident. So that was out. Then I called my friend and I said, I have a problem. Here's the situation I possibly could find myself in. And that is, I could be out scavenging on the bike or bugging out on the bike, right? And find myself in the situation where a group or someone's coming at me to get me off my bike or whatever, or take my stuff, correct? In an SHTF WROL situation. And I also said to him, and I'd like to be non-lethal to open. I would prefer to deter people rather than to, or as non-lethal as possibly could be. And then follow with lethality. And so we talked, and he said, well, what about the judge? And this was about a month ago. And I said, what is the judge? I had never heard of the judge, never seen the judge, nothing. I'm not an avid gun person. I only shoot to keep my skills up, and because I was in the military so long that shooting means cleaning, and cleaning means work, and shooting is a job for me. So I personally don't like it other than to keep my skills up, and that's all I do. So he came up with the judge, and it is a revolver that fires 410 shot shells. And let me say that revolvers are never safe. Okay, they've never come up with a competent safety on a revolver, so please know and understand that unless the weapon is locked with a key, which means it's not in use or not being used for anything. It is actually locked. So please know and understand that, okay? The weapon is never safe other than completely unloaded and the barrel out. Okay, so now what this affords me to do is to fire birdshot for my opening round and at a distance of, say, 25 to 50 yards. The birdshot is probably not going to be lethal, but it sure is going to disperse a group, isn't it? The other thing it's going to do is it's going to deter a single assailant too, isn't it? And the other thing is I don't have to be accurate since I'm going to be using my offhand, do I? I don't have to be accurate. So it met all of the needs, the right tool for the job. Now, after the birdshot, if they continue on and the threat continues, then I go into what's called the defender, which is 3 rounds followed by BBs, which again means I don't have to be accurate. I just have to get in the general direction, right? But, when this comes flying in, they're going to be take notice and definitely duck and cover and be done. And that's what I wanted. If I was going to be accosted in some way, I wanted to be able to deter that behavior first with non-lethal force or potentially non-lethal force. All weapons are lethal all the time. But the birdshot would allow me the potentiality of being non-lethal at a certain distance. And then followed by the critical or the defender rounds, which are just ridiculous, folks. And every time I fire at the range with this, 2 rounds knocks the target off because you're actually hitting it with BBs and 3 rounds. So it's kind of hilarious. Scary too. But there you can see the rounds, 410 shot, the 3 discs followed by the BBs. So I don't have to be terribly accurate. I just have to aim in the general direction to detour a threat. And what that affords me is some possibilities. One, I could detour the threat completely on the first salvo. 2, I could deter the threat, make it duck and cover long enough for me to get to cover and concealment somewhere. Or 3, be able to evade the situation and get away altogether once they take cover. Because this is quite a, it shoots flame out of it about that far. It's kind of funny. And again, I'd never heard of this piece, but I needed a new hammer for a specific task that I was going to have. Firing with the offhand, not being able to be very accurate on a bicycle at 20 miles per hour, and wanting to begin with non-lethal, potentially non-lethal, open, followed by a round that covers a area and really means business. And so the judge met all of those needs, so I settled on the judge. Again, I couldn't fire the shockwave because it would probably knock me off my bike or could cause me to wreck. This is the Taurus Judge, by the way. There are plenty of videos on YouTube of people firing it. That's not why I'm doing this video. And I don't like shooting. Shooting means work to me. I was in the military too long. But, and I can fire 45 long Colt. I can fire buckshot. I can fire, so many different rounds are made for this piece now, this Judge. It is just really interesting, but allows me versatility, and it allows me a possibility for the particular situation I'm going to be on, out possibly bugging out or scavenging on my e-bike. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. Do you have the right tool for the job? Have you thought every situation you could possibly encounter through? And do you have the right tools to deal with the possible threats or situations that you may encounter from the choices you've made with your bug out? But anyway, Jim out. I hope you're all having a good day. The Judge. Anyway, it's the right tool for the job that I need. Anyway, have you thought your bug out through? Have you thought the situations you may encounter through? Have you thought the situations you could be in? In my case, offhand, moving on a bicycle at 20 miles an hour, I'm not going to hit the broadside of a barn with a handgun. With this, I just got to be in the general direction. Jim out.